The whistling. That knew my name. I thought the forest was empty. That's why I went alone. No phone signal, no other hikers, just endless trees. Around sunset, I heard someone whistling. A slow, almost cheerful tune. Every time I walked toward it, it moved farther away. Then, it whistled my name. My name is Ethan Brooks. I'm 26 years old. This happened in October, 3 years ago, inside Mount Hood National Forest, Oregon. I've spent most of my life hiking. Forests never scared me. If anything, they made me feel calm. The silence, the fresh air, the feeling of being completely alone. That's exactly why I went. I needed a break. Work had been exhausting. Life felt repetitive. So I packed my backpack, filled a water bottle, grabbed my camera, and drove 3 hours into the mountains. The weather forecast looked perfect. Clear skies, no rain, no wind, just one quiet afternoon in the woods. When I reached the ranger station, there was only one truck parked outside.
Whatever you do,
an older ranger stepped onto the porch. Grey beard, weathered face, the kind of man who looked like he'd spent his entire life in the forest. He asked where I was heading. I pointed toward Black Pine Trail. For a moment, his expression changed. You hiking alone? Yeah, he stayed quiet, then handed me a paper trail map. Be back before sunset. I smiled. I've done harder trails. He nodded slowly. I'm not worried about the trail. I'm worried about what walks it after dark. I laughed. He didn't. Before I left, he said one final thing. If you hear whistling, don't answer. I assumed it was just another local ghost story. Every forest has one. So I thanked him, got back into my car, and started hiking. The first hour was beautiful. Golden sunlight filtered through the pine trees. Birds filled the air. A small creek crossed the trail. Everything felt peaceful. I even stopped several times, just to take photographs. At one point, I noticed fresh deer tracks. A few minutes later, I found large footprints, much larger than mine, probably a bear. At least, that's what I told myself. The deeper I walked, the quieter everything became. The birds disappeared. The insects stopped buzzing. Even the wind seemed to vanish. The silence wasn't peaceful anymore. It felt heavy, like the entire forest was listening. I checked my phone. No signal. Not surprising. I kept walking. About 20 minutes later, the trail split into 2 directions. There wasn't a sign, just 2 narrow paths disappearing into the trees. I checked the paper map. Neither path was marked. That didn't make sense. I looked around. Someone had carved a message into a nearby tree. It read, "Don't follow the whistling." The letters looked fresh, as if someone had carved them only days earlier. A cold feeling settled in my stomach. I told myself, someone was just trying to scare hikers. So I picked the left trail and kept going. 5 minutes later, I heard it. A whistle, soft, slow, almost friendly. I stopped walking. The whistle stopped too. I waited. Nothing. I took another step. The whistle returned. This time, much closer.